and welcome to When Gamers Teach. I'm Jay.
And I'm M.
I've been teaching officially for 6 years. I have taught everything from birth all the way through high school. Currently, I teach kindergarten, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
And I've been teaching for about 24 years. I have taught primary and middle school math and a few other places. I'm also a gamer.
We're both gamers, actually. We're both dedicated teachers who love to game. Through that lens, we see the value some games have in developing student thinking and learning.
Gamers have an advantage in teaching because they are inherently engaging and they embed practice within them.
And as gamers, we want to see more kids gaming, and kids who get hooked early on will be gamers for life.
As teachers, we want to see kids building and using skills that they're needed for critical thinking and functioning in a normal society.
So the games that we cover in the show will typically be ones found in game stores, of course, though they're starting to pop up in mainstream stores. These games are more complex and somewhat geeky than more traditional board games, and thus tend to be less common and less well known. So the idea of using them to teach may not even be in most people's consciousness. But it's these games that make the difference, and it becomes more appealing to kids and adults alike.
We like the geeks. We will not be covering games like Monopoly or checkers. We avoid these types of games because they don't highlight the same set of skills that most of these other games do. Also, they aren't as geeky and they will lack the appeal to many kids and many adults.
So these games cover a huge variety of skills that can be practiced with kids. In order to have common understanding, we have defined a set of common skills that are covered in multiple games. We'll start by defining what these skills are.
Now, our set of skills won't be covering things like learning geography from playing Risk, I don't know where Australia is, or learning addition from Yahtzee. We'll mention them when they come up, but we'd like to focus on skills that build critical thinking and critical social skills.
So, our first skill is convergent problem solving. So this means using higher order thinking skills to reason out solutions to complex issues that have only one possible acceptable answer or outcome. So it's kind of the destination to a journey and having multiple paths to that one destination.
The second skill that we can cover is divergent problem solving. It's using higher order thinking skills to reason out solutions to complex issues that have more than one acceptable answer or outcome. It's like finding the best solution to a problem with multiple paths.
Another skill that we'll be talking about a lot is competitive negotiation, which is dealing effectively, civilly, and fairly with others when each party has contrasting goals. So kind of working with others to meet my goal.
Opposite of that is cooperative negotiation, or simple teamwork. It's dealing effectively and civilly with
and fairly,
thank you, with other people when that group has a common goal. It's working together to find a common solution. It's, like I said, teamwork.
And our goal.
Our goal, yes.
So resource management is controlling and committing material, time, and personnel efficiently and appropriately to complete assigned tasks. In other words, using what you got to the best of your ability.
The next skill is logical problem prediction, using your current and existing data to draw the most likely conclusion or next outcome of an event. This is using what has happened before, the numbers that you have seen, your data to make a prediction, okay, as opposed to
Anticipation, which is analyzing clues, previous actions, and current needs to determine what the future actions are going to be of the group or the person. So kind of reading the room and doing threat assessment.
looking at what people as opposed to numbers.
Exactly.
The next one is articulation. And that's being able to explain one's thoughts, their ideas, or their feelings in the context of games. This articulation will most likely be verbal when you explain something to someone else or give clues to someone else verbally.
And whereas with articulation you're explaining your thoughts, the next skill, persuasive justification, is arguing your point based on the available data relevant to what's happening. So basically making a logical argument instead of an emotional argument.
Finally, we'll be looking at prioritization. This is being able to order the steps in order to complete a task, in order of importance to complete that task. So it'll be putting first things first, deciding what has to occur first, what's next, what doesn't need to be done, what can be put off, a basic life skill.
Well, these aren't all the skills we'll talk about. These occur the most frequently, and we're just defining them now, and we'll probably use them pretty much in every game we talk about, or at least some of them.
And other skills will come up, and we'll highlight those as they come around.
So the next thing is, once you've decided that you're going to use these games, how are you going to find them? You're going to need to track them down, and we have 3 ways to do that. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, or close by, you can come to Imperial Outpost Games in Glendale.
If you're not in Arizona, you have 3 main choices for finding these games: the internet, big box stores, or local game stores.
Many people's first choice is the internet, but we'd like to offer this suggestion with caution. Look specifically for board games or tabletop games. If you just search for gaming, you're going to find video games or gambling sites, which of course is nothing that we need around children.
Exactly. Big box stores are national chains that begin to carry more and more of this style of games. You'll see them in the toy section. These are common in most every community.
However, we prefer the friendly local game stores for several reasons. It's cool to support small and local retailers,
They have a wider selection of games to choose from.
and they will have more copies of the main games, but they'll also have supplements and accessories that will expand your game and make it easier to play.
And while big box stores are a source for games, they're not really a resource for games. They won't be able to teach you how to play the game,
And they won't be able to tell you what expansions are available.
or if there are other games of the same style or genre.
And of course, they can't provide you with a community to play with or even a place to play.
And also, many friendly local game stores will have their own library of games for you to peruse and try out, like Imperial Outpost Zone, Game Library. Game Library, yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah,
It's true.
it is. So watch this space for new videos featuring a variety of games to help instill learning in kids.
We will bring you a plethora of games that you can play, enjoy, and teach with.
For When Gamers Teach, I'm Jay.
And I'm Em.
Thanks for joining us, and happy gaming.